top Parkland realtor and also run Parrot Realty, and we're a top selling real estate team here in the South Florida market. If you find anything of value in this video at all, I only ask if you please hit the like button. If you really like the video, then please subscribe so you can be notified when we upload new content and support our channel on a weekly basis. If you would like to book a call with me, please go to the first link in the description below and you can easily book a buyer, seller, or just a discovery call. We are here for you. This week, we are going to discuss why renting your home instead of selling it could cost you $100,000 or more right away. Two, example of a Parkland home seller's options to rent or to sell. And three, weekly Parkland real estate update, along with number four, the mortgage interest rate news. So, why renting your home instead of selling could cost you over $100,000 right away. So, understand a big thing that people don't get right now. And right now we have about 40 homes, 42 actually for rent, and properties are coming on the market for rent, and people are thinking about not selling them as they want to keep that low mortgage interest rate. And that is I understand why it's important to do that, but please note that while you have lived in your home for 2 years plus, you're actually able to take advantage of a tax incentive of not paying up to $250,000 in capital gains savings as a single person and up to $500,000 as a married couple. And let's face it, Parkland, Florida is a very family oriented community and a lot of people are married. So understand on layman's terms, if you bought your house for $1 million and you sold it for $1,500,000 and you were a married couple and you owned it for 2 years and a day, you would be able to not have to pay any capital gains tax on that $500,000 gain. So with the market going up approximately 49% according to Zillow in just 3 years from the pandemic to now, a lot of people are sitting on lots of equity, $300,000 nationwide, and a lot of you Parkland homeowners have $500,000 in equity in the property just from 2 years ago. That tax savings equity. So what are some of the advantages? Well, I'm sorry, when you're renting, what do you need to be aware of? And I just described the two tax savings for single and married couples. The cost of being a landlord, you have management fees, you have lost income for time on market while you're trying to put the house on the market for rent. As we see homes right now, it's taking about 45 plus days to even be listed, and up to 60 days to get a tenant to want to rent the property. You have repairs, possible evictions, HOA dues, and assessments are increasing as we see in many neighborhoods like Mira-Lago and Cascada right now, soon to be Parkland Bay. So obviously, if you sell today, you take advantage of not paying those capital gains taxes. So in this figure here, renting a home, and here's an example of a property we just pulled a random property in Parkland. If the home was listed for just under $1,500,000, and with the potential of netting just the $500,000 from when the seller bought the house to when they would actually sell it, they're actually saving and they're netting $500,000 in non-taxable income. If they don't, they're going to pay approximately 15 to 20% of the actual capital gains tax, which could cost $75,000 to $100,000. So if you're in the 15% tax break, you're going to end up selling and only getting $425,000 instead of the 500. That's 75, could be 100. So that's a lot of money to leave on the table. Also understand, when you put your home up for rent, then next year you immediately lose the homestead exemption. So you lose your $50,000 savings. Plus, remember, when you buy the house, it's not so much the $50,000 savings. That's going to save you $1,000, maybe $2,000 best case, but it locks you in. It caps you at 3% per year that the county cannot raise you. And once you let go of that, it's like to the county that you sold the house. They're going to revert your taxes right back to if somebody bought the property, and it could be approximately 2% of the sales price. So going from, whatever your taxes is to what the new value could be at a 2% of that price that the county decides the next year, your taxes could almost double. We're seeing 40 to 80+% in people, who rent their homes instead of sell it. And then what happens is you lose that yearly savings where they can't raise you more than 3%. And now the limit goes to 10%. So obviously we've already seen homes going up in value, 4 or 5+%. I think we're year to date 5% in Parkland. Still, with interest rates at 8%, we still see an increase in values about 4 to 5%. So you're going to see your taxes even go up more because they can't cap you at 3%. Plus all the other ideas of, having to put your home maybe in an LLC so you don't get sued personally. Now, I always tell people if they're going to invest in real estate, invest in properties that you're going to invest in from day one. Put your money into an investment from day one. Start the LLC. Your taxes are right the next year. You're not going to be shocked and awed. So understand, a lot of people, I looked it up. I mean, 40+ people are putting their homes up for rent right now in our city. And some are investors, but I don't see all of them. I see a lot of people owning for 10, 15, 20+ years. We discussed this at our event last night. And I got the most questions about this because I just don't think people are informed about what the rental market means if you have all this big built up equity. I've been in the market for 18+ years, and before the crash, I never thought values would get to that point. To be honest, I never did. And we've surpassed that tremendously right now, what values are overall nationwide and certainly in Parkland. I remember the median sales price to be about $600,000 to $700,000. And that was, pretty much for a long period of time until after COVID. And now we're almost double that. So understand, we've seen unprecedented price increases. If you're going to rent your house, understand in this example that we have where the owner decides to rent the house at a $6,500 monthly mortgage payment, and they're going to net $2,000 a month in profit. That sounds like a lot of money, $2,000 a month, but that would take them at least 3 years in rental income without having any issues or any problems or any unforeseen issues. That they would actually take 3 years just to get the money back in income that they would already get if they sold the place today. So it's like me giving you $100 and then 3 years later, you give me the $100 back. You're not going to give that to your financial advisor. You could take this extra money that you're netting, put a larger deposit down with interest rates, maybe pay cash for the next property. If you're downsizing, especially, you can invest in a CD or money market. They're at 5+%. I see even 5.5%. You could pay off debt with it, do all kinds of things. You could sell at a premium price in a seller's market and still take advantage of it in buyer's markets, that are coming, possibly in the near future. So all of this is very valuable information for you, which you should be asking any real estate professional. You can ask your financial advisor. We are not financial advisors or accountants, but we certainly know this information and encourage you to reach out to them and speak with your agent of choice, because this is information they must know, because you could be leaving this amount of money on the table like that. Because I would tell people, if they're looking to rent a place and maybe they bought it this year and they get a job relocation and the rate was still lower, maybe last year the interest rate was maybe in the 5s or low 6s, maybe you want to rent it because what you're going to benefit, that you're, in that little bit of time, you haven't reached that 2-year threshold to be able to save this money. You have to own the property for 2 years and a day to receive this capital gains savings for $250 for single person and $500,000 for a married couple. So if you're not at that threshold, then maybe you could rent your house and see what the market does, but at that 2-year threshold. But everybody else, and that's 95% of all the houses I see that people are trying to rent right now, I would tell you that you should really be thinking about it, because I don't think we're going to see that kind of jump in value of 49% in 3 years. A healthy appreciation is really 1 to 4% per year. And that's where our market is right now. We're in a healthy market with 8% interest rates right here. So hope that was of value to you if you're thinking about possibly renting instead of selling. So this week in Parkland real estate, we have 98 single family homes for sale. It's been very consistent for the last couple of weeks. That's excluding the 55+ communities and condos and townhouses. 41 price reductions. So we have, approximately 40+% in price reductions for homes already, and they're still on the market. And those homes have been sitting for at least 70 days on average. So we're starting to see homes take a lot longer to sell than we did before, where they were 2 weeks to get off the mark, 2, 3 weeks. Now we're seeing, homes that are taking months, multiple months to sell. The median sales price year to date is 1,168,500. Just in the past 7 days alone, we have 6 new listings, 12 price reductions, 7 homes went under contract, 5 homes sold. Inventory is super low. I haven't seen a lot of movement going on. Very, very stable. Things are just very, very calming right now. 42 available single family homes for rent, as we were discussing earlier, 48 days on market for those rental properties on average. So they're taking time to get off the market. The median rental price right now is about $6,000. That's a little over $2 per square foot. There's a 5% increase in rental values, almost consistent with sales values right now in Parkland year to date from this year to last year. And it was at 5,700. So if you're looking to rent, rental prices have gone up, even with being 42 homes on the market right now, because people don't have to move. They're not desperate to rent their house, and they're not desperate to sell because their payment is low, and they'll keep that payment. 22% increased in rentals from last year to this year. So understand, more people are renting than buying right now. So our mortgage news, obviously we were at 8.3%, went down a little bit today to 7.97. So 15-year rate is at 7.31, and our 30-year jumbo, which is what Parkland Market is, that's over that 726,400 threshold at 8.05%. So obviously, what does this mean to you? Well, if you're thinking about making a move, maybe wanting to know what's going to happen or what you should do to prepare before the end of the year, this is something you should reach out to your financial advisor, your accountant, and certainly I would love to earn your business and trust as your preferred real estate agent here in Parkland. We do this every week, and we want to keep our pulse on the numbers. We had a great event last night. I want to thank all the sponsors that we had, all the speakers, had an amazing turnout. Over 100 people came, and we gave a lot of valuable information. So thank you so much again. Look to our new events that we will be having, some seller and buyer seminars. We have our charity event coming up, Parrot Giving Day. We're looking to raise $10,000. Last year, we raised just under $8,000 for an amazing event and charity of, SOS Children's Village in Coconut Creek. So please look out for that. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another market update here in Parkland, Florida.